one day you're a solo freelancer, the next you've accidentally built something that looks suspiciously like an agency without meaning to. We're going to trace the happy accidents and the wrong turns and the future shaping choices that decide whether you're heading for an empire, a lifestyle business, or a cautionary tale. And I think that there's a fine line between all three of those things. So, Shay, if somebody had to look at your career from the outside, what would they assume your plan has been? Have you got a plan? Are you one of those A types that have plotted out your goal and broken it into mini goals?
So, the title of this series is Making It Up as We Go Along. And I think that's true of both of us and of many freelancers. But maybe if people were looking from the outside, they would think that my goal was to become sort of the subject matter expert on freelancing, because I wrote a book about it. We've got this podcast on it. I speak about it a lot on LinkedIn, but, they actually couldn't be more mistaken. Because the reason I wrote the book was because I was making it up all along, and I didn't want other people to have to make it up the same way I did, as make all those mistakes. And so I didn't set out to become some kind of freelancing guru, for want of a better word. It happened because I was sucked at freelancing and I had to get better at it. And I thought maybe I'd help some other people get better at it too. And what about you? How did your career plan, or how has it progressed, if someone was looking from the outside?
So, looking from the outside, if people had to look at what I'm doing right now, I think that everything looks pretty planned and strategic. But let's put it this way. When I was going to enroll in college to study something, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And long story short, I wanted to be a karate instructor. So the fact that I'm not a karate instructor today should give you an indication of my career trajectory. It's been a lot of left turns and a lot of weird flukes and accidents that have got me to where I am today. It's I think that the lesson I can probably share is you need to be pretty flexible, and you need to go kind of, don't let yourself be carried along by the current, but don't fight the current either. Don't and I think we've spoken about goals before, and business coach, if you've got a business coach, they're always like, what is your big audacious goal? And I have no idea what mine is. Like, I'm just trying to live a happy life, and I will kind of see in which direction that takes me. So going from wanting to be a karate instructor to now specializing as a B2B white paper writer in the technical engineering space. I mean, there's been some weird turns along the way. Let's speak about the business that we've got right now. Do you think you're on track to become an agency boss? Or are you going to try and keep it small? And I say this because the advice that I got when I launched my business was, go as a PTY limited. You don't know if you want to scale at some stage, and if you're a solopreneur or the sole prop, it becomes difficult if you do want to scale up to agency, to separate your business from your personal then. So that's the advice that I've got. But I can tell you that I in no way want to become an agency. I am too much of a control freak, and just the idea of being responsible for somebody else's salary, never mind the output that they're creating, is enough to give me like sleepless nights. So I think that a lot of freelancers do kind of become miniature agencies, though. You're not, like you said, you were kind of doing marketing management right in the beginning, which is kind of like an agency type of vibe.
Yeah, it's also a big no from me, because it takes you away from the work that you actually, for me, enjoy doing. So I enjoy sitting down, writing, solving the problems, bringing all the information together. I don't want to watch someone else do that while I send invoices and jump on client calls. Like that,
Mm,
I'm out for managing people. That's not my skill and it's not my passion. So yes, maybe it limits the business in terms of scalability, but I think there's other ways to scale. And also, to be honest, I don't really care about scaling. Like,
mm,
I'm actually really happy doing what I do and having a direct line to my clients and becoming their go-to where I can and adding value where I can. I'm not really, I must be honest, in my freelance business aspiring for much more. I feel like I've got to a place where I'm happy with the rates I charge. I'm happy with the hours I work. And maybe this all sounds really unambitious, but I just don't know. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? I mean, of course,
yeah, yeah.
I need to work on myself always and upskilling and improving what I can do and ways that I can add value myself. But I certainly don't want to have to hire other people to do that.
No, even outsourcing. I went through a stage where I was super busy and I was actually outsourcing overflow
Mm,
to somebody else that
like
I really, really
subcontracting.
trusted. And even though I really like the way this person wrote, they don't write like I do. And so it was always a bit of a gamble, like to send that information or that work
Mm,
out to a client because they get used to you as the person, and the way you write
mm,
and the way you interpret the brief. So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't have anything to outsource at this stage anyway, but I don't know if I would. I'd rather outsource, like you say, like business aspect, like the bookkeeping or
mm. Yeah.
the marketing of the business or um,
Or if someone has a skill that I don't have, rather than subcontract that skill, I'd rather just say, you
mm,
take the business, you know? Yeah.
yeah,
Or say to the client,
yeah,
deal with this person directly. That's not my skill set. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, if somebody had to look at your business, what is one thing you'd actually want them to steal from your business model, and what is one thing you'd warn them against? And we kind of covered this a little bit in a previous episode, but uh, yeah, if there's one kind of business framework, I suppose, what would you
Mm.
suggest?
So I'd say, getting your processes in place. So, like I spoke about earlier, not going through a long sales process. You've got a set kind of structure that you follow to streamline everything. So that's one thing. Um, Another thing is I do actually very little direct sort of cold outreach and prospecting. Like my pipelines tend to stay busy through referrals and doing things like the podcast and putting myself out there in more, less, I guess, salesy ways, more just having a presence and showing up. So, and I know a lot of people hate the idea of cold prospecting, and it is time consuming and it is a numbers game. So I think if you can avoid that in your business and rather work through referrals and people it just makes everything so much easier. Maybe some people
Yeah,
have great success, but I feel like it really is, yeah, just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, and very little of it does. Um,
mm,
and then something I'd say maybe don't do what I do is still quite niche resistant. And in this day and age, AI is the generalist. So,
mm,
yeah, but still, I just can't picture myself niching to a specific kind of industry or type of writing because I really enjoy the variety and doing it all. So, you know, if you can find something like you have that is really specific and something that you can become a real expert in this day and age, I think that's where things are going.
yeah. I was actually having this conversation the other day with somebody, and I think that why are we looking at it as a black and white, like niche and generalist? You can do both at the same time.
Mm,
I mean, you can niche the type of content you create for a very wide, general
mm,
set of industries, or you can go into a specific field, but then do everything from a content perspective. You don't
mm,
necessarily have to choose, like, oh, I write white papers for AI
mm.
clients. I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, yeah. one thing that people should steal from my business model is experimentation.
Hmm.
I'm always looking for new ways to do things, and that's not just the back end like processes and that kind of thing. I think that you need to be constantly pushing the boundaries of like what is a white paper. How far can you push it to make it stand out of a very crowded white paper world?
Mm.
Um, and that goes for your creative process, where you get inspiration from, find new ways and experiment with new things in your personal and your business life. One thing I'd warn them against is having too many projects on the go at any one time, because you do lose focus. Experimentation is great, but it does kind of take you into time waste territory. So,
That
yeah,
doesn't sound like
be a
you,
little
though.
be a little bit more controlled in how you're spending your time. Um, but yeah, we hope this was helpful. Have you got any tips and tricks, any kind of framework that you think would really benefit the listeners? Please pop it in the comments, and we will see you in the next episode.